How NYC street racing became unstoppable explained, episode 34, 337 speed. We tapped in at 337 speed today. The niggas in the chat was talking about this nigga's nice. He does car builds from what I seen on the channel, and he also does docs too. So any NYC doc, bro, we got to tap into. And yeah, that's that.
New York City has a problem.
Cut.
Just 5 years ago, NYPD responded to an average of 10 calls per month for drag racing across the city's 5 boroughs. Today, that average has skyrocketed to 10 calls per day.
Oh, is this the same sting? Damn, that's kind of crazy, bro. That's the same road.
This multifaceted issue has only...
Oh my God, bro. This is crazy. If I was the governor, I'd be heated. Nigga, y'all niggas marking up the street like this? That rubber is crazy. Looks like it. They don't clear out the highways. You do that shit at like 3, 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and they just park all their cars right here. So when there's a roadblock of 50 cars, you ain't getting through shit. Plus they have lights. So you see a bunch of shit that's coming up.
...grown worse over the years, partly fueled by the easy access to affordable but fast vehicles.
What red sport is 19? Actually, no, you can get probably red sport for that.
Thanks to the effects of urban sprawl and the worst one of all, the insatiable appetite for Instagram clout.
Oh my God, bro, that S2K was skirty. I remember that bit. That shit was crazy.
Participating in a street race in New York is a Class A misdemeanor, punishable with a fine between $300 to $525, but the reward of likes, followers, and a buzzing Instagram username handle seems to be a fair exchange to young, impressionable minds across the city.
He got the U-Haul decal.
The NYPD's multi-billion-dollar annual budget and 36,000 full-time officers are in an ongoing struggle to keep the city's street racing epidemic under control, but with suspect cars that drastically overpower patrol vehicles and crumbling infrastructure make it almost impossible to solve. But how did it get to this point? Well, it's pretty complicated. Welcome to Explained.
The guy in the U-Haul Charger died? Bro, he died too? Red sports are like 40K. Yeah, MSRP.
Era street racing
information was
frowned upon an unspoken reality for the NHRA.
Bro, RIP to that nigga, bro. That's crazy.
They wanted safe, controlled environments for racing with lucrative ticket sales at racetracks, while some racers wanted to test their production-based pro stock cars on the street for bragging rights, big crowds, and huge tax-free winnings. Across the U.S. in the late 60s, there were numerous hotspots of illegal street racing, from the stretch of road between Detroit and Pontiac, Michigan, named
Two girls with
Avenue,
Bro,
where an
what?
unbeatable Hemi-powered Plymouth
Used?
GTX,
I say now they might be 19.
the Silver Bullet was king, all the way to the birthplace of hot rodding itself, Southern California, where racers would cruise Van Nuys Boulevard and search for quarter-mile races from stoplight to stoplight. In New York City, however, racing was more discreet and more dangerous.
Oh, that looks
so tough. The connecting highway, which like it sounds connected the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway to the Grand Central Parkway in Queens, was the home of big money races in the city. Everything from pro stock Hemis to even a dragster raced from underpass to underpass, with as many as 40 cars and 3,000 spectators occupying the lanes on any given night.
So they been doing this. They been doing 1, 2. Damn, you like Joe out here. All right, fuck it. They been doing this shit though. These niggas talking about they been doing this shit since Pro Chargers and Hemis, nigga. What the fuck? Low, damn, what you mean, brain rot? Cause you be watching that shit at 1.20. Yeah, like hold on, like Breeze, we really gotta watch this shit at 1.25? Hold on. Breeze. If I drop this, bro, you could just change my speed to 1.25 on it. Actually, nah, you're watching it live, so I guess it makes sense. Let me see how it sounds.
Night.
But they've been doing this shit, though.
As the police presence became overwhelming, even to the point of 26 arrests in a single day, the illegal races would scatter across the city. The legend of the connecting highway would be relegated to Polaroid photos and magazine stories and retrospectives. In the 90s, spots like Hunts Point in the South Bronx and Fountain Avenue in Brooklyn became a hotbed for racing, and unlike decades prior, with General Motors, Fomoco, and Chrysler's finest engines roaring down the blacktop, Japanese cars became a common contender amongst the domestic competition.
Yeah, that stuff go way back, bro. Yeah, I'm going back to normal
Honda's
breeze.
little but mighty B-Series powered Civic and CRXs quickly gained an elite reputation amongst the underground leagues, as they were lightweight with a relatively simple dual overhead cam inline 4-cylinder that responded strongly to turbocharging. The task of owning a personal car in New York City was already a hassle, so the compact body style, great turning radius, and great fuel mileage made the Honda platform ideal for a weekend racer and weekday commuter all in one.
Oh my god, that B-Series sounded beautiful.
The reputation of these Hondas would then become
Hands
immortalized.
down, one of the best sounding fucking four bangers I ever heard.
When an article written by Ken Lee called Racer X was published in the May 1998 issue of Vibe magazine, which tells the story of a street racer named Rafael Estevez and his quest for a 10-second quarter-mile capable Honda.
30-year-old Dominican drag racer from Washington Heights. Yeah, this is lore, bro. How does a kid lines up to New York hotspots like Boulevard and Queens Fountain Avenue? Dominican, Chinese, Filipino, Jamaican, Italian, and other ethnicities who have one thing in common. They all love hurling metal, meat, and rubber. Yeah, nah, he went crazy on this video, bro. The editing and the research
The Racer X article
top.
would reach all the way to Hollywood, inspiring director Rob Cohen
For
to pitch
Fast and
the
the
idea
Furious?
of a street racing movie to Universal Pictures, which birthed the Fast and Furious movie, and street racing emerged out of the shadows into the mainstream. There was an explosion of tuning shops all over the city catering to imports from Honda, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and Subaru, and even German offerings from BMW like the M3 and AMGs from Mercedes, all with the goal of squeezing out every ounce of power that the manufacturer leaves on the table.
Yo, we even had crowds in tuner shops. Yeah, that's real culture. That's real culture.
And as the years progressed, ECU processors got more powerful, turbocharger design and implementation got better, and ultimately the cars got much faster and more dangerous.
Oh, I remember that shit. I remember that shit. That shit went viral too.
An even more
Them shits
concerning
be
issue was starting to
just
rear its
gutted
head, which was
frames,
the systematic
bro. They don't have
shutdown
no
of
weight.
racetracks
So for
around
that
the
shit to
city
happen
due
with
to
those cars is
suburban
pretty
sprawl.
common. Yeah, no, this is goated.
The process typically
That might be my
happened
cousin.
like this. A drag strip
What?
built in the 50s and 60s on acres of agricultural zoned area becomes encroached upon by developments of residential homes and commercial shopping centers as the population grows on the outskirts of the city. As homes are built near racetracks, complaints of noise begin to happen, limiting the time the track can operate. And with the land the drag strip is built on being much more valuable, and the city wanting property tax revenue from residential homes and shopping malls rather than a drag strip, the owner of the drag strip sells the property versus continuing a losing battle against residents and urban planning committees. On Long Island, with a population over 8 million residents, racetracks were subsequently shut down, like West Hampton, Freeport, and Islip, with the same story. Sold to corporations since the property taxes based on the increased land value was more than what the racetrack could bring in with ticket sales.
Damn.
If you wanted to race legally, you'd have to take the hour's drive with tolls to New Jersey's Atco Dragway, which some did, but a lot of racers just took it to the streets, and the street racing problem grew tremendously across all 5 boroughs.
Yeah, because look how fast these cars are not as fast as the cars we have today. You push it, these cars look like they pushing what, maybe 7/8? Bro, when you're pushing 7/8, the crash is not gonna be as bad, bro. When you pushing 12, 13, then the game kind of reaches limits. From NYC, we might be related, is what I meant.
One glaring factor to the rise of New York's
Every
unstoppable
Dominican got
street
that Honda
racing
Civic in
scene,
them.
and
Every
even the
Dominican.
country as a whole, was the ease of access to fast cars. In the 1960s, a 10-second quarter-mile streetcar took an assortment of parts to be quick, from a fully built
Great minds think alike, nigga. I was just saying the same shit.
with a higher stall converter, higher rear gear ratio, traction aids, and even nitrous. In today's world, an unassuming BMW 340i X-Drive with the venerable B58 turbo inline-6 engine is just an ECU tune, a downpipe, and E85 fuel away from matching those figures, while also being very unsuspecting to the naked eye.
60, 100, 200.
Yeah, bro. This shit's too
The
accessible
BMW
now.
340i was essentially half the price of the flagship BMW M3, but with bolt-on modifications, it was faster for much cheaper.
$798, nigga.
Where
Nigga,
a Chevelle
you're
or
not hitting $798 on stock anything, nigga. Your trans is not lasting, bro.
Fox-body Mustang would need a skilled professional to re-engineer the car to reach those breakneck speeds in 1,320 feet. The BMW or even an Infiniti Q50 was just some hand tools and an internet connection away from being a real performer, and younger enthusiasts quickly flocked to those platforms. 1, 2, 3. Social media played an immense role in bringing awareness to certain cars as sleepers, or cars that go under the radar from cops, as they blend in well with traffic but possess the performance of much more ostentatious supercars. A young Jamaican teen going by the Instagram username OneStockF30 was integral in showing the potential of these understated BMWs. Racing built Nissan GTRs, Camaro Z01s, and Trackhawks, vehicles worth double and triple the price, and winning.
Damn, he fucked that shit up. That bet is crazy.
At one point, the whole
Yeah, RIP, bro. Joe, if you don't know, bro, that nigga's a mogul, bro. That nigga's a mogul for what after aftermarket or BMW does today, bro.
city was tuned into an unfolding David versus Goliath story. A measly BMW 340i taking down exotics and muscle cars on the street for bets as large as $40,000. The reputation of German coupes and sedans had always been a staple amongst New Yorkers, dating back to the 80s.
You know what's crazy? When they used to go to Maryland, like New York versus Maryland, them pots used to be like 6 figures.
But what the
100K
240, 340, and 440i had that those didn't was that they were attainable and blended in with traffic, making it the perfect candidate for a getaway car.
That nigga was the hood hero for real. Most underrated video that Slow Benz has on the channel. This, yeah, underrated.
NYPD's pursuit policy requires that a vehicle pursuit be terminated whenever the risk to officers and the public outweigh the danger to the community if the suspect is not immediately apprehended. Pursuits in a city as densely populated as New York are extremely dangerous to civilians and pedestrian onlookers, leading NYPD to almost always call off chases for non-violent crimes like street racing and speeding. Officers would rather use the offender's license plate to reveal the identity of the individual and arrest later in a much safer environment. This doctrine made the trend of using ghost cars or vehicles with altered or stolen plates that don't match the offender's identity so they can elude police with impunity to become the norm amongst criminals and even street racers.
A crackdown announced today on what Mayor Adams calls ghost cars. Those are vehicles that have fake license plates on them.
In response, NYPD in the beginning of 2023 began to chase indiscriminately with a 600% jump in pursuits from the prior year, thanks to the most active of units called the Community Response Teams, which are plainclothes officers in polo shirts and khakis who drive unmarked cars which are mostly blacked out Ford Tauruses. This explosion in pursuits does have a downside. Innocent civilians who are caught between the struggle of man and machine, and in some cases have to pay the ultimate price. The NYPD is stuck between a rock.
Look. Brother, a lot of that shit would be saved if these niggas invested in the track. But the gov not gonna help real niggas out. They never gonna help the calm out. So it's like instead of helping the niggas and aiding the problem, they're just gonna be like, just stop doing it. Which they know niggas are not gonna stop. So the only way to really fix this, bro, you just gotta make a track at this point, bro. You just gotta make a track. These guys are food. Yeah, no.
In a hard place when it comes to solving the street racing issue. Being more tough
honestly,
on invaders
Slime,
and chasing them,
next thing up is probably gonna be drones
or call
shit.
off the chase.
Once you have a camera system like Dubai or
burdens the system with
foreign
higher
country
insurance premiums thanks
that's
to
really
hidden
set up,
runners. In essence, New York's street racing problem just boils down to 3 factors. Every
Yeah,
year
OG
there are
was
less
tough.
and less drag
OG
strips which
squeezes.
house a safe
It was
and
not even a
controlled
lot of
environment
production.
for
It was
racing
just straight
to happen,
driving.
thanks to the effects of urban development. Having access to a 500 horsepower or more car is as easy as signing on the dotted line for a high interest rate loan on a used BMW and adding a downpipe and a tune. And last of all, social media encourages copycats to emulate what they see for likes and follows, but most lack the skill set required to properly control and handle a performance vehicle, leading to more preventable accidents that burden the system as a whole.
Damn, is that the U-Haul? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Damn, so that what? Damn. Damn. Bro, and his car is not even tore up. Like, compared to one stuff. Like, yo, what? He went head. How do you do this? 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 How you do this, bro? It looked like he was just a takeover nigga, so I don't know. But this head on, usually niggas hit the side or the back, but head on, like what was happening? I don't know. There's a vid about it too. Yeah, after takeover, bought tires.
I say all this to say,
that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard, bro. That's some shit. It's like one of the worst things you could do to yourself, because now after you've done burning rubber and shit and your wires are showing and the ops pull up, you gotta dip. And now your tires are bald and shit.
Or Sean
That's like the worst subsection of the street shit.
Probably Mac.
When you're doing a takeover, you gotta get away. Yeah, nah. That video was insane though, bro.